Our first clinic starts with body position and kicking. Good body position is the most important thing for swimmers. Just like you have to be able to stand before you can walk, before you can run, or balance on the bike before you can ride hard, you have to be able to float before you can swim. What does good body position look like? It means you are long in the water, like a vessel. This reduces drag that could otherwise negate any propulsive forces that you create with your arms. What are a few things to scan to be aware of your body position in the water? Hairline at the surface of the water or about an inch above your swim cap. Back of the head is dry. Flat as back with the hips breaking the water's surface. Heels slightly breaking the water's surface. Let's dive a bit deeper into head position. Typically where your head is, your body will follow. If you bend your head or lift your head to breathe, then your legs will follow. So it's super important to keep your head in line with the rest of your body. Your head should rotate with the body like your spine is a skewer that you are rotating around. I see a lot of people lift their head to breathe, and that causes the legs to sink. I also see people bending their neck, which causes their hips to swivel out. What is your torso and hip position? How your low back and hips are in the water is primarily determined by your hip and ankle flexibility and core strength. If you sit at a desk all day, you really need to work on hip flexibility if you want to be a good swimmer. What else can help? Breathing into the belly to get air into the body to help you float. Press your chest down to keep the hips up. Pretend you are pushing your back into a floor or a wall. Kicking is a very much overlooked part of a triathlete's swim regime. Considering it only makes up 10% or less of propulsion for triathletes, and we don't want to waste energy for the bike and the run with a big kick, most triathletes don't focus on it. However, if you don't have a good kick, then you won't have good body position, and it won't matter how strong you are because the drag of your body will negate any propulsion from the arms. It's also a great way to help stabilize, strengthen, and mobilize the hips for running, since the hip decoupling motion of the kick is important to be able to run healthy. When we start to put the kick together with your stroke, we will emphasize a 2 or 4 beat kick, but the first phase of the clinic is meant to develop an efficient kick before adding it to the arms. A good kick is primarily determined by your hip and ankle flexibility, so that's why the clinic largely focuses on that to begin with. The kick is initiated from the hips, but what does that mean? A few cues are a single leg hula hoop, single leg dolphin kick, kicking a soccer ball, or my stepdaughter tells the kids she teaches to make your butt wiggle. The drills that we will do to help improve your body position are a DRYLAND routine, floating, sculling, and then various kicking drills. There is a link to the full DRYLAND program in your Training Peaks account. Ideally, that's what you want to complete, and often enough during the week. I recommend 3 to 4 times. The stretches are based on the fact that studies have shown you need to stretch for at least 30 seconds at a time and accumulate a total of 5 minutes doing that stretch each week to improve range of motion around a joint. If you don't have time for the full DRYLAND video, then I would advise you to do at least these 4 exercises. Stretching the hip flexors, the ankle stretch, and then you can work on the catch with swim tubing for at least a set of 3x20, and the catch and pull with the swim tubing for at least a set of 3x20 per side. The first in-pool drill we will practice at the clinic is floating. Seems simple, right? To float, you want to focus on those body position cues that I was talking about and taking full belly breaths. Remember, in swimming, we breathe in through our mouth and out through the nose. So if you aren't a seasoned swimmer, this is also a good time to practice that, which is the reverse of what you typically do in the weight room. Next, we'll do some vertical kicking, which is just basically kicking as this guy is doing, but it forces you to have a high kick cadence and small, tight kicks. I will emphasize a streamline push-off during the start of any drills or swimming we do at the clinic. Note that in this drill, the feet start at the wall, you duck under the surface of the water as the hands come together, and then you push off the wall in a nice tight streamline, eventually coming to the surface. Sculling is a great way to focus on body position and to break up the kick drills. The hands make a windshield wiper motion, pushing the water down and back to keep you at the surface and moving forward. Note that there is no to little kicking with this drill. Back kicking helps to ensure you aren't kicking with your knees. If you have a knee-driven kick, the knees will break the surface of the water and you will see them. You don't want that. Make little splashes with your toes at the surface of the water. If this is too difficult, you can hold a flutter board over top of your knees to help yourself balance in the water and to really feel whether your knees are hitting the flutter board. Back. Side kicking helps improve body awareness and also teaches an efficient kick. Side kicking helps improve body awareness and also teaches an efficient kick. Kicking with a board is the fastest way to kick. This is used more for strengthening an already efficient kick, because it's easy to cheat and use your knees. And, as one of my favorite swim coaches says, it helps to stretch out the lats in between long sets of freestyle. Superman kick is another kick variation that can be used in the absence of a kickboard or to help correct a crossover stroke, since it teaches you to keep the hands in front of the shoulders, which is where they should be entering the water during your freestyle. The last drill that we will do is 6-kick drill. And this is a good transition to take the kick into regular swimming, since you can add a stroke or 3 strokes in between side kicking. Here you kick on your one side for about 6 kicks, or a count of 6, and then take a stroke to roll to the other side. Those are all the drills we will be doing in the first clinic and as homework for the first 2 weeks of the program. So become familiar with them and reach out if you have any questions. Those are all the drills we will be doing in the first clinic and as homework for the first 2 weeks of the program. So become familiar with them